Oh, happy Valentine's Day. Happy Love Day. Every day, I love to say, love in Spanish sounds so much better, right? Amor. Compasión. Every day should be a day of love. But you know, one day out of the year, we come together to recognize love. We need to understand that love is not an emotion, it is a statement, it is a foundation. Lust is an emotion. Lust only lasts for a little while, but love endures forever. And if we establish our foundation in love, then fear cannot enter into our realm. You see, because wherever there is love, fear can never abide. It is the same thing that when there is light, darkness cannot abide. Love is the foundation to the world, the universe, and our life. Without love, we cannot exist. Now, don't get me wrong. Love is hard. When we talk about love, it could cause a little fear. Because love makes us as humans vulnerable. It opens us up. And because we live in a fallen world, it is so easy to get hurt. But what I love about love is that love conquers all. And what's that saying? It is better to have love than to never have loved at all. Everything in life has consequences. Everything in life brings pain. Yes, there's many situations and many occasions that many of us have experienced heartbreak. But you know the heart always mends. Many of us run away from love. But love always seems to find us. Isn't the definition of God love? Yes. To be able to leave the adoration of angels, to leave that kingdom, to leave that throne, to become one of us, to sacrifice himself, to give himself eternally for us to abide in his love. And so, without his love, we cannot make it. I believe that God's power generates because he is love. Love is power. And without it, we are powerless. You see, hate could only be around for just a little while. Because as soon as the power of love comes in, it destroys hate. If we live in hate, hate slowly destroys us inside out. But if we live in love, it rejuvenates us, restores us, and gives us life. How can we fear that? First Corinthians 13, 4 through 8 and 13. Paul describes it beautifully. It says, love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. But as for prophecies, they will come to an end. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will come to an end. And now faith, hope, and love abide in these three things. But the greatest of these is love. We all long for love. Deep, enduring love that gives meaning to our closest relationships. Yet human love can feel fragile at times. The Apostle Paul offers a picture of love that goes beyond feeling. Love is self-sacrificing. Or our love should be. You know why? Because God's love should be abiding in us. For example, in marriage, if we get married just to get married and go by our emotions, marriages like that do not last. But if we go into marriage or a relationship with that foundation of love that endures, that is self-sacrificing, it doesn't matter the turbulence that comes. It does not matter if your foundation shakes. Love sustains you. Love is everything that we should be about. Not only in relationships, but also in community. When we give, we should never have the thought that we will receive. Do you understand that? And in many occasions, people give with that mindset that they're going to get something back in return. That is not love. Love is to give all of you, everything of you, to open up your heart. And whoever comes in gets transformed by what you're giving them. We are representatives of Christ, amen? And as representatives of Christ, we must carry the entirety of who Christ is. And if Paul is telling us, right, that hope and love, or should I put it as faith and hope, are great things to have. Do you agree? But love is greater than both of those. If there is no love, there is no faith. If there is no love, there is no truth. And if there is no love, there is no hope. Love is the foundation to the universe. Everything was created because of love. Because God is love. Amen? Paul begins by saying, love is patient, love is kind. Patience is often tested in close relationships. When misunderstandings arrive, love calls us, and I say this all the time in many of my sessions, love calls us to slow down, listen, and offer grace. Kindness is love's active expression, choosing to respond with compassion rather than irritation. In a marriage, patience is choosing to wait, to understand, and to give. I always let people that I counsel or give counseling to, that when you're in a situation where there may be a misunderstanding between two people that love each other, it's best for you to, I always say, usa, usa. Breathe. If you need an hour to separate and just think, do that. Because in moments when you're irritable, you can say things that you don't mean. Because now what you're doing is you're letting emotions dictate what you're thinking. When you're able to sit back and say, let me take a break, let's come back to it later, you have that time to think, to find out, and this is something that's very hard to do, right? Find out, what did I do to cause the issue? Not what did they do, but what did I do to cause the misunderstanding? In many relationships, it's all about what they did, which tends to cause more friction within the relationship. It's a power struggle. But we have to understand that if I'm in a relationship, my power comes from her and her power comes from me. We both share the power of love. And if I can sit back and reflect and say, okay, let me think back and see what I did to cause this situation to go left. Let me see what I can do to bring it back into the center and to let her know that I was wrong. And to ask for forgiveness. And to bring an understanding that we can work together to fix it. That is what love is, to be patient, graceful, and forgiving. We need to understand this. And this is not only in relationships with couples, this is also relationships with family members, brothers and sisters, friendships, right? Mother, father. And in many occasions, we have to be right, or they have to be right. No one needs to be right. It causes a situation to get worse. Pride will kill a relationship. Not only with your spouse or your significant other or your friendships, but it kills it with God as well. Because what God is trying to tell us is you need to open up your heart so you can surrender to me. And He tells us to do the same to those that we love. Paul continues, he says, love is not proud. It does not insist on its own way. Pride can erode relationships because it puts the self at the center. But humility modeled after Christ places the other person first. In family relationships, humility looks like saying, I was wrong, or celebrating someone else's success. In community, selfless love serves without expecting anything in return. I remember when my ministry started growing and I was getting calls to go all over the world, right? To in many speaking engagements. Thank God for the opportunity. I remember when others were moving up and they also were starting to shine. And even if they outshined me, I felt so amazing because they were shining. Because then God was probably telling me, hey, it's time for you to take, right, the back seat and let them shine. And I was like, I'm good with that. I love being in the back seat. I love seeing other people succeed. That's what brings me joy. This whole thing of trying to be better than someone else, I don't know, it never felt good to me. To see someone else succeed is the greatest thing that any human being could experience. Many of us who have children, wouldn't you love to see them succeed greater than you have? Do you know that unfortunately, there's many parents that are jealous of their own children for succeeding? This is just a reality of the world. But to be able to take a back seat to see them shine is the greatest accomplishment that God can place upon you. You did your work. You did your job. It's time for them to grow. This is when we talk about legacy. Our legacy is for us to slowly dim our lights for those that we helped shine greater than ours. Amen? Paul says love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. God's love is not fickle, it perseveres. In our relationships, enduring love means we stay committed even when circumstances are difficult. It means we believe the best in others even when they stumble. It means we hope for reconciliation and renewal. God's enduring love gives us the strength to persevere in our marriages, friendships, and families. When we root our relationship in God's love, they become more than human efforts. They reflect God's heart. Think about this. When we have God's love in us, do you know that our hearts become one with God's? To have God's love is to have power. When we root our relationship in God's love, right, they reflect God's heart. Let's commit to love with patience, humility, and endurance, trusting that God's love will sustain us. This week, let's reflect God's love in a specific relationship. Is there someone who needs your patience, your humility, or your enduring commitment? Pray for them. Reach out with kindness. Let your love be rooted in God's love. And watch how He strengthens your relationships in ways beyond what you can imagine. It is such a gift to be able to be loved. It is such an amazing thing when there was maybe one time that you lost your love, and then God blesses you with a new love. Because a human being should never be without love. Love endures. Love is kind. Love is graceful. Love is self-sacrificing. Let love be your foundation. Let it be your power, and let it engulf your entire life. Love is the answer. God bless you.